Good morning. Today I'll speak on the battery of life. Can I compare the human body to an instrument like a telescope? I'll tell you why. Just as you require a telescope to see the distant objects in the sky, so too the soul requires a body to see, feel, touch, taste, and smell the world around us. It enhances our understanding of the universe. Imagine a fish out of water. It is helpless, it will die. Similarly, the soul gives life to our body. Without the soul, the body cannot survive. Our soul supplies the life force or the current to the flow in our body to make it work. The soul is the essence of our being. The soul is the thought and the body the vehicle that gives wings to our thought. The soul is the driver and the body is the vehicle to set our life into motion. The body gives voice to our soul. It gives taste, smell, feel, hearing, and sight to the soul. Just as we need an aircraft to fly, so also the soul requires a body to fulfill its wishes. The soul can't see, talk, or feel, or hear as we humans do. So the soul enters the human body to experience life in its full color and beauty. The body only enhances the limits of our soul. But once it enters the body, it will see, hear, understand only to the extent that the mind is programmed to and within the sphere of influence of our senses. Here it is trapped inside our body and will only leave when it cannot be of any use. Our mind is the decision maker of the body. It works on reason. The coordination in decision making is done by our brain. Reasoning takes supremacy over our inner self. It supersedes our inner self or our soul. However, our mind cannot imagine or think beyond the limits of its five senses. The inner life force, or the soul as we call it, it does not reason. It is a guiding force which, like a lighthouse in the sea, tells us that we are astray and near dangerous coasts. It gives us a true and unadulterated advice. However, you take it or ignore it depends on your reason-oriented mind. This strengthens my belief that we are rational beings. The body applies reasoning when taking a decision. Sometimes I feel I have missed so much in life. I have missed hearing my inner self. We humans are stacked in the category where reasoning predominates. We do everything for a reason. Sometimes I keep arguing with my reason and my inner self. I have observed that when what our inner self tells us is spontaneous. But with our argumentative mind, it takes a while to get a solution or an answer. We keep studying the pros and cons of the situation to make a decision. At the end of it, we are never sure of our decision. Very often it disappoints us. But our inner self clearly outlines what should be and what shouldn't be, what is correct and what is not. Our argumentative mind sees the situation, the status of our society, our status, and takes a decision which is usually a compromised decision. When we hear people talking loud, without worrying about the consequences, without fear, we are speaking our inner self. When you make a statement of facts without malice, we are speaking from our soul. But do we normally do that? We are worried for our own lives and safety and compromise our stand regularly. We do not speak or take actions that may put us in trouble. I believe that all the happenings in our lives are stored in our brains and in our soul. All our memories are stored in our brains and in our soul, or what we call life force. When a person exits his body, his soul carries the memories of his past life. What if I tell you that on our death we carry our memories, experiences with our soul? There are instances which I recall sends shivers down my body. One is that of a person who was killed in a cold-blooded murder. The soul was desperately looking for a living body to enter and speak to his own parents about the circumstances, place, and names of people who had murdered him. Finally, the soul entered his brother's living body and started narrating the events, the people, and the place where he was murdered. The family was aghast to hear the details of the murder and the names of the suspects. They reported the matter to the police, who on subsequent inquiry found evidence of the murder at that place where the soul had pointed to. The murderers accepted their guilt and surrendered. I recall another incident, what happened when my uncle died of a massive heart attack. My cousin went in a tizzy and started blabbering unknown names of people whom my cousin should meet to recover the loans that his father had given, even mentioning amounts to be recovered from them. Later, when the family sat down and discussed the matter, they were surprised by the correctness of the details that he had blabbered out. If you feel and believe that what I have talked about